a lot of the folks are asking about this Florida-Miami game. I'm going to be down there Saturday. There's a lot of, like, to me, baseless talk that loser of game automatically on hot seat. I don't feel that way about Mario at all. I think there's a little more probably merit to that smoke around Napier in Florida, but that's like on the periphery. As for the football game, I think Miami will look like a high-level SEC team physically. I cannot wait to just flat out see how they handle this. You've got a lot of portal guys that you're going to immediately plug in and count on in an extremely tough environment. I think there's frankly, a lot more desperation on that Florida side. I think Florida will, in some ways, have a quarterback edge here, even though I think Ward will end up being the more talented option down the road, because I think there's a little more consistency and continuity in what Florida's going to do. Also, the other thing that I think we all just got to wait and see on is, number one, the synergy of that Miami offense out the gate. But number two, the whole helmet comm thing, you and I talked about this in the spring a little bit. Like, everyone thinks that's just automatically going to be a strength for them. Someone is going to get bitten on the road in week one because they've leaned on that thing like as a crutch all spring and summer, and they think they've perfected it, and then all of a sudden, oh, I can't even hear. I got my quarterback doing this, I can't even hear. That could be Miami, it could be Notre Dame, it could be somebody. What has your attention the most in this thing?
I think, number one, it's the kind of game that Florida wants to get here. I think there are probably 2-3 different paths for Miami to go out and win this football game. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if the variety of ways Florida can win are the same for Miami. I think Florida has one path, maybe two paths to go win this football game. I think they need to control the clock. I think they need to slow the game down. I think they need to limit possessions for Cam Ward and that Miami offense because they're going to be explosive. And as you stated, it might not have a lot of continuity right out of the gate, but they have explosive capability. One, with the quarterback leaving the pocket. He is absolutely brilliant at extending plays down the field when outside the pocket. Now, there are times I think he does it a little bit too quickly. There are times that he goes full hot sauce and one point guard and just tries to run around until something happens, and then he goes and makes a play. But he has the talent to do that. The difference will be, I think Austin Armstrong, Ron Roberts have the ability to put a plan together that could be confusing. How much of it can they give? They're not going to dial off the pressure. They're not going to not show different pressures, back out, bring it from different areas. So how confused is Cam Ward? You got Zach Carpenter at center transferring in against Cam Jackson, who transferred in from Memphis 2 years ago on the interior of that Florida defensive line. That's a big matchup that I think. What's the status of Montrell Johnson? I understand it's a running back. We've devalued it, but think about how long that guy's been in that system, Josh. I mean, he played in it at Louisiana. He's played in it a couple of years at Florida. I want my vets in the game against Miami. The understanding, the wherewithal. I don't want any panic. I don't need any freshmen not knowing what's going on. I think the Florida offensive line has a chance to control this game. I want to see if they can do it. Are they playing together enough? Because Graham Mertz, you and I have talked about it. If you put his numbers on 80 other football teams right now across college football, we're asking if they're going to the playoffs or are they going to win double-digit games. And for some reason, we don't think Florida can win 3 or 4. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. Turnovers probably decide it. But if Florida gets their style of fight, and that is a slow, methodical fist fight of a football game, then I think Florida beats Miami at home. And I think that what you talked about with the helmet comms is interesting. Somebody's going to get caught, and we're going to know it. Like you said, we're going to see the hands on the ears. We're going to see the panic, looking over to the sideline, get the play back in, because a lot of things are still going to have to be signaled. That's what people don't understand. And the more coaches I talk to about it leading up to this season, I'm just going to give a tidbit here and there. I'm going to get the play in. We're going to spread it out, or we're still going to use our signals for different position groups. And, hey, tell the back to chip on that D end right there. Hey, if that corner's playing inside leverage, go ahead and throw the fade. Those are the little tidbits that I think coordinators are going to give. I think some of the former NFL guys have a little bit of an advantage on that. But I actually really like Florida's chances to go win this football game because the D-line is going to be better than people think. And I think the quarterback is going to consistently get them in the right plays. And that's going to be massive if Florida does not turn the ball over and can maintain possession in this football game.